Hello, I'm Monica, and this is a recording for Chapter 101 of Basic Hypnosis. I'm going to take away my video and share a screen that was recorded some years back.
Hypnotherapy Volume 1, HYP100, Basic Hypnosis by Monica Gears-Dahl. This is Chapter 101 of the Dahl Method. What is hypnosis? The word hypnosis comes from the Greek word for sleep, hypnos. The hypnosis you will be learning in this course is not sleep you sleep at night. Hypnosis looks like sleep from the outside. The subjective experience is often one of heightened awareness. Only a very small percentage of people who practice hypnosis report having no conscious memory of the experience after it is complete. More common are the individual's report of feelings of well-being after the session. The hypnotic experience is familiar to anyone who has gotten a greater sense of being, such as that which one experiences when functioning smoothly as part of a team, during a peak athletic or creative performance, during moments of breakthrough creativity and excellence in performance, and when comprehending a sense of connection with something greater than oneself within the limits of one's own skin. The theoretical foundation for this course is spiritual monism. All things are assumed to be coming from the creatively thinking stuff from which the universe is made. Call it what you will. Hypnosis is a familiar state. It is encountered when returning to waking state from sleep, that's called hypnopompic, and when entering sleep, hypnagogic. Some people pass through this state hardly noticing it quickly. Some pass through slowly or deliberately seek it out through meditative, creative, or sporting practices. Hypnosis is a natural state which you have been in many times. Perhaps you can recall a time when you were on the freeway, driving past a familiar exit, your exit. Or perhaps you suddenly became aware of yourself behind the wheel as you respond to something that startles you while driving. The thought may have floated through your mind that you hadn't been paying attention to the road for a lengthy period of time. Your attention and conscious mind became absorbed in something other than what your body was doing because that part of you that had learned to do certain actions automatically, such as driving, took over. Your automatic functioning continues until something out of the ordinary or dangerous occurs. You may choose to use this course objectively and learn how to hypnotize others, or you may choose to use this course as it was intended, to learn more about the powers of your own mind. As you practice hypnosis, you may find yourself becoming more and more aware of your capacity to respond to suggestion. Your continued reading or listening reflects your growing curiosity about the possibilities inherent within you. This learning is best done experientially, subjectively, so as to gain familiarity and fluidity with the natural human capacity for relaxation. Practicing the exercises with yourself and others is the way you will develop the hypnosis skills sufficiently to do them automatically. You may find it easier to read scripts for the exercises when you first begin, and you will find there are patterns that work more effectively than others. Your own style will emerge. Trust yourself. You are going to learn how to recognize the signs of hypnosis, how to use hypnosis for yourself and others, and how to recognize the preferred responses you can expect to encounter. Some people will be slower or more difficult than others. Some will move so quickly, they will steamroll you to move faster or get out of their way. The reputation of the word hypnosis evokes images of strange and mysterious powers and people, faith healers and sideshows. Yet the human response to suggestion is as natural as the sky's response of light when the approach of dawn. Hypnosis has such a rich and powerful history of creating change that Hollywood uses it to embellish movie plots. The human mind is amazing, and you will learn to identify and debunk the Hollywood hype and common misconceptions that distort the usefulness of this natural human function. For the purposes of this course, the term hypnosis will be used to define any technique which promotes direct or automatic communication between that which you are consciously aware of and the subconscious, emotional, imaginative mind, the warehouse of your learning and knowledge. Inside you is a knowing that knows everything about you, and it knows that it knows. It knows what you like, dislike, and want or need that you haven't gotten yet. Hypnosis is a tool that, when used correctly, can bring astonishing and often rapid results through simply learning to relax. Then, add the focus of attention upon specific goals with clarity of intent, present tense, and subjective ownership. Wonders await those who explore the mysteries of the mind. What is a hypnotist? Misinformation about the nature of suggestion and response leads the public to believe that a hypnotist has some kind of magical power. A hypnotist is a person trained to give detailed attention to semantics, voice inflection, body movement, and generating mental expectancy. A skilled hypnotist has learned methods for bypassing the critical faculty and establishing selective thinking. The hypnotist's job is to use suggestion to excite the imagination and develop mental expectancy in the subject. You can observe suggestion in action through the repetition, emotional baiting, direct, implied, and embedded messages of advertising, education, marketing, and politics. The most common misconceptions about hypnosis. Since you already experience hypnosis daily, why don't you know it? Probably because of the many misconceptions about hypnosis, which include the hypnotist has some strange and unknown powers. I give up control to the hypnotist. I might get stuck. I might do things I normally wouldn't do. I might tell all my secrets. I might get hurt. I will be unconscious, unaware, unable to move, think, speak, say anything, or hear anything. I can't be hypnotized. Misconceptions like this about the natural state of hypnosis can elicit a fear response in members of the general public who do not understand the underlying assumptions of what hypnosis is and what can be done with hypnosis to improve personal performance and relaxation, restoration experiences. Keeping the general public in a state of fear regarding hypnosis, Hollywood hype and unscrupulous operators can use the public's lack of information to make a buck. Educate your client. Discover your client's misconceptions and assumptions and disprove them before the initial induction. Debunk the myths of hypnosis and establish a collaborative relationship. Facts about hypnosis. All hypnosis is self-hypnosis. A hypnotist is a helper assistant with a set of tools and skills that humans have found to be useful in creating rapid transformation in human growth and development. The expertise of a human with a humanistically oriented set of skills is to have a broad range of approaches to offer a hypnotic subject. The expertise of a humanistically oriented hypnotherapist in skill development is to have a broad range of approaches to offer a hypnotic subject. The subject being hypnotized is using the hypnotist as a helpful assistant with a broad range of tools to offer ease of entering and exiting the relaxed state known as hypnosis. The client is the expert itself. The state of hypnosis is natural. It is only a matter of recognition and then skill development for use of the state for a range of experiences from deep relaxation and restoration of self to peak performance and creativity flow. In hypnosis, the subject becomes much more aware of his or her perceptions than full waking state. Rather than restricting the senses, hypnosis expands and magnifies the senses with particularly enhanced selectivity for the focus of attention. A hypnotic subject cannot be made to do or say anything that might be damaging to the self. Inside each individual is a knowing that knows everything about that person and knows that it knows. At some level, the individual is always aware and in control. He or she can choose to accept or reject any idea or suggestion that is determined to be unacceptable. A hypnotized person cannot be made to do anything against his or her personal, moral, or religious beliefs. The subject won't tell any secrets he or she doesn't want known. People in hypnosis laugh, cry, move, open and close their eyes, talk, think, and feel just like people in full waking state. The subject is always aware at some level and must be in order to hear for the suggestions to work. The subject is always aware at some level and must be able to hear for the suggestions to work. Must be able to see in the mind's eye, hear in the inner ear, and perceive with an inner knowing. Although the hypnotic methods focused on in this manual involve the use of relaxation, the experience of hypnosis is not limited to relaxation. Hypnosis is also recognized in states of heightened activity, arousal, physical activity, being in a zone of one's peak performance. The only time someone fails to emerge into full waking state when requested to return by the hypnotist is when the individual is enjoying the relaxation so much that a return to the stresses and strains of daily life is postponed voluntarily by that subject. You can't get stuck in hypnosis any more than you can get stuck in sleep. In hypnosis, the critical faculty of the mind is bypassed and the imaginative faculty is engaged. The critical faculty is the judge and censor of the conscious mind. When it is bypassed, selective thinking to help improve performance and overcome blockages can be established. The subject will bypass the critical faculty when there is a sufficient level of self-trust and other trust developed between the hypnotist and the subject. The sufficient level of trust is known as rapport. As you learn to establish better rapport with yourself and others, you will find it easier and easier to explore deep, profound relaxation. Through this relaxation, a more direct communication or communion with your inner wisdom is reestablished. The ability to self-regulate oneself with a relaxed feeling of well-being allows for the hypnotist to establish and maintain a safe, bounded, and unbounded environment within which the process of growth with its unfolding development expands in ways that transcend the wisdom of the members physically present. Rapport can come about through direct suggestion, waking suggestion, or any of the innumerable natural occurrences which you may have heard referred to as hypnosis, trance, meditation, prayer, relaxation, bliss, rapport, contentment, well-being, empathy, compassion, peak performance, and epiphany. You are already familiar with hypnosis because it occurs naturally when you are under stress, thinking deeply, half asleep and half awake, driving, reading. Anytime the deep creative resources of the inner mind are called forth. You are particularly sensitive to the suggestion and response in times of repetition, intense emotions, powerful longing, and feelings of identification. As you participate in this course, become aware of how your response to the exercises changes with repetition. In hypnosis, you know everything going on, and you know that you know. You know what you are saying, hearing, and doing. Your perception capacities become enhanced, as does your ability to focus or defocus. The sounds of the world around you become background sounds that reassure you all is well in the outside world. You are safe to go deeper into hypnosis. Imagine that the sky is blue and all things float away like little puffy clouds on a beautiful day. Just allow all things to float away like a little puffy cloud on a beautiful day. Should anything occur which requires your immediate attention, you are immediately alert and ready to respond with full capacity. For now, just float, drift, relax, become aware. While practicing hypnosis, you can speak, move, laugh, cry, blink, yawn, because you are always in control at some level. Just like any form of exercise, every time you practice self-hypnosis, you achieve better response. Now, trust yourself. The more you relax, the deeper you go. The deeper you go, the more you relax. The better the response, the deeper you go into your own knowing. Each and every time, easier, deeper, faster than the times before. And it calls you. And you listen. 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 Deep inside, there is a wisdom. I'm talking to you now. And you are curious. Perhaps so curious. All people have a natural ability to respond to hypnosis. The quality of response varies from individual to individual, moment to moment. The only things that prevent full response to hypnosis are fear, misinformation, and lack of trust. Once you review and erase all misconceptions and false beliefs about hypnosis, no power on earth can prevent you from responding to positive and helpful suggestions for relaxation. When the body relaxes, the whole system can function more easily. In hypnosis, you are always in control. You can't be made to tell secrets you don't want known. You cannot be forced or coerced into doing something that is against your personal, moral, or religious beliefs. You can't get stuck in hypnosis any more than you could get stuck in natural sleep. In hypnosis, you have a greater awareness of self. You can change your awareness of time and be there already, 5 minutes beyond the successful outcome of all that, whatever all that is, for the purposes of that hypnosis experience, that thought process, that experience of living. And what are the first signs you notice 5 minutes beyond the successful outcome of all that stuff? All hypnosis is self-hypnosis. The hypnotist has no extraordinary mental powers or control over you. It is not something someone else makes you do. You don't have to believe in hypnosis for it to work. The only thing you have to do is want to experience hypnosis for yourself. Want it to work? Demonstrate that desire by practice, and notice how surprised you are when the things you targeted for accomplishment unfold as if magically in your life. You practice that which you desire, imagining it as already yours, already accomplished. Your quality or intensity of desire is reflected in the intensity or quality of your response. It is not something you can try to do. You either do it or you don't. The word trying or try implies failure. Often the harder you try, the harder it gets. Stop trying and let it happen. Trust yourself. You are in the right place at the right time. It's time. And you are learning, unfolding, uncovering, discovering, integrating, amazing, loving, dynamic, wise, joyous capacity for self. You can trust yourself. You know more about you than anyone else ever will. Trust yourself and your perceptions. It's time, and you know it. That is why you are still reading or listening. You are curious, and you will discover that some subjects express a concern that they're making it all up. That's fine. Just pretend. You might start out feeling like you are pretending and then find that experience develops into something with deep subjective meaning. When you turn to the imagination, you temporarily suspend the critical faculty of the unconscious. You temporarily suspend the critical faculty of the conscious mind. When you are in hypnosis, you tap into the immense power within your mind, the unconscious mind. You are open, discovering amazing, powerful, transformative awareness of resources and possibilities within, deep within, unfolding in a natural manner that pleases and delights you. As you are curious, perhaps, it is also interesting to notice the small pleasures of life that float down into your ideas, thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and perceptions. Be aware that the preceding few pages read from this manual are direct suggestions intended to educate and open the conscious and the unconscious minds to receive the information pertaining to this course. Direct suggestion is the focus of this course. A directive approach may or may not be effective with those struggling with long-standing mental issues, such as depressive disorders, or when the subject has already perceived him or herself to be untrustworthy. There are the more permissive methods of hypnotherapy and HYP100 and hypnoanalysis HYP400 that build upon the basic training of this course to provide a deeper entry into the things that long black shadows of loss, grief, trauma, and suffering can impact on living. Once you have recognized the many times you have already used self-hypnosis successfully and automatically in the past, you can learn how to use it consciously for a greater self-awareness and satisfaction in the present and future. The reason you don't recognize the state of hypnosis is because you generally don't discuss it with people. It is a natural state that you take for granted, like your heartbeat. Unless you've had a heart disorder, it is a rare topic of conversation to say, yes, my heart is beating today. Sure is, beating strong. It happens automatically. All your life, you have been hypnotizing yourself without a formal language to describe what you are doing. You hypnotize yourself on a daily basis. You learn through empathic mirroring, engaging with other humans, and you learn to automatically, hypnotically state regulate through repetitive practice. You go in and out of the relaxed state of hypnosis automatically when you drive, read, run up a flight of stairs, zip a zipper, all automatically. You just haven't been formally trained to recognize it the way you were trained to know the alphabet or the word identification and the sentence structure of written or spoken material such as this. As you read or listen to these words, you are using reading or listening trance. You understand what words are meant to symbolize through repetitive practice. You learn to read by focusing your attention on letters, words, and sentences until the process became automatic. You observed, perceived sounds, body language, intonation, pace, and behavior until you mastered the art of communication in your family, culture, and temporal context within which you were raised. It is only a lack of formal training that causes you to fail to consciously identify or acknowledge the natural method by which you get your mind power to work for you. Most people take this natural state for granted. If you pay attention, you may find that you rarely stop to think about how you do what you do and why you do all the things you do when you do them. You just do them. The things you do automatically are done because you have, at some point in time, trained yourself to do them. When you pay attention, that is mindfulness, awareness of self. You didn't leap from your mother's womb into reading, cooking, or driving. You taught yourself numerous steps so well that you are now able to do some things automatically. As you learn language skills to describe this simple and much used mind power, you will automatically reconnect with how you think and feel, which may be different from what other people say you are supposed to think or feel. What is life really all about when you think and feel using your own perceptions and senses completely right now? Use your senses completely. Realign with what is instead of what is. It is the objective of an existential humanistic approach to hypnosis and hypnotherapy, and it is based on the Gestalt concepts of Fritz Perls. The difference between meditation and hypnosis is the purpose or intent. The intent of some forms of meditation is nothingness, oneness with the all-knowing void. Some meditations seek to be completely in the moment, perceiving with fresh eyes, putting aside preconceived notions so as to trust one's senses and perceptions. The purpose of hypnosis in this course is to relax the conscious mind so that the natural function of the subconscious and the superconscious are focusing on their creative powers on achieving a particular goal or set of goals. Allow yourself to align with the mission most dear to you, to your higher purpose, your innermost striving, aligning for the best for all involved. Instead of trying hard and fearing failure or success, you can learn to relax and let the subconscious mind work with instead of against your conscious plans. The logical mind can come up with all kinds of reasons and excuses for failing. When properly applied, the mind can come up with just as many reasons for success, relaxed enjoyment of living, and peak performance strategies. All people have an ability to respond to hypnosis, and you are equal to any human, living or dead, that ever inhabited this planet. When you want to respond to hypnosis and you don't, you are temporarily out of control. Stop trying. Let it happen to the best of your ability at this moment. Breathe. Pay close attention to the response of your senses, your sensual response. What you hear, see, smell, feel, taste, touch, imagine, perceive, experience, breathe. You are an air-breathing mammal. Hypnosis is subjective. You will experience it in your own unique way. Some things you will have in common with other people who experience hypnosis. Some things will be idiosyncratic or unique to you. Sometimes you will notice a certain familiarity or predictability to the type of response you experience, and you may reach plateaus in your capacity and practice with self and others. At other times, you may notice your response to hypnosis gradually changing, shifting to something new, or changing radically to something new. Trust yourself. Discover the wonder of being a lifelong learner on this amazing subject of human growth and development. When you invest yourself in taking basic hypnosis courses every so often, you will hear familiar information and will also begin to hear it in ways that you didn't recognize or identify when you first started this formal study of hypnosis. Hypnosis is a natural state. All humans can benefit from skills training to be able to articulate and identify hypnotic phenomena and harness it for its remarkable applications to learning and test-taking, creativity, peak performance, preparation for surgery, business and personal relationships, healing, and spiritual development. The biggest payoff of experiencing hypnosis, and the one thing all people who practice the skills of this course have in common, is a sense of deep, profound relaxation, which becomes an automatic reflex with practice. You will practice self-regulation for relaxed well-being throughout this course. And as you practice, you will notice interesting things about yourself, and you are curious. You will find it wonderfully pleasing to regulate your state for a relaxed well-being, more easily with each repetition of the exercises in this course, and you are curious about how you will first notice the effects of your mind power in relaxing, being, unfolding your innate capacities. If you don't respond completely to suggestions of relaxation at this time, you are responding only to the situation at that time. That doesn't mean you are a poor subject. It means that the circumstances or the hypnotist weren't comfortable to you at that time, for whatever reason. Each practice will allow you to experience a deeper and deeper sense of awareness of self. All hypnosis is self-hypnosis, auto-hypnosis. And the responsibility for entering trance lies within the subject, you. It is the hypnotist's job to excite the imagination, implanting the expectation of results. The subject's own mind power is the source of the response. Your own mind is the source of the patterns of your life. Are you getting what you want out of life right now? Take a moment to think about how life would be like if you had all that stuff resolved. 5 minutes beyond the successful outcome of all that stuff. Daydream. What is it like in your ideal future self and living experiences? Are you moving in the direction that allows you to achieve those ideals and dreams? If not, what will it take to flow in the direction of your ideal outcomes? And how will you know it when you get there? What will you see, hear, feel, smell, taste? And in what order do you notice the context in yourself and relation? What's the first thing you notice? Is it something you see or hear or feel or smell or taste? And what's the next thing? Is it something you hear or feel or smell or taste or the 5 senses? And what's the third thing you notice? Is it something you see or hear or feel or smell or taste? That which is thought tends to occur. That which is expected tends to be realized. The creative forces of the imagination are set into motion by the power of your thoughts. Self-hypnosis is a key that opens a door to the treasure house in your mind, the part that knows everything about you and knows that it knows. Everything you've ever experienced or perceived has been faithfully recorded in your memory banks. You've got a log of what worked and what didn't work. You've developed a lot of resources since some of those experiences were logged in with the attached decisions and emotions. The more involved the person becomes in the process of relaxation, the easier the response to suggestion. Even those people who resist the process of relaxation are pleasantly surprised to find that the subconscious has recorded suggestions and is using some or all of the suggestions appropriately and effectively. Each and every time you practice self-hypnosis, you go deeper and faster than the time before. Each and every breath and blink creates a greater rhythm, a balance with the breathing and the heart, and a wonderful rhythm within all the systems of the body and mind and spirit. You may be pleasantly surprised, perhaps delighted, as your life unfolds and you find amazing and wonderful things in every day. Even when there are storm clouds and challenges on the horizon or overhead, things pass. Days and nights pass, time passes, and we are all mortal. We live most fully in each moment and allow ourselves to be aware of the full extent of what it means to be human, to be connected, one with the larger being of humanity.
What is hypnosis? Gil Boyne says it's a therapy of the people, for the people, by the people. Irene Hickman says wonders await those who explore the mysteries of the mind. For the purposes of this hypnosis training, we use Ann Spencer's comment. It is an education communication process by which the conscious and subconscious minds hold congruent messages. And now I'm going to pull up the hypnosis book. I think I still have it open. And we'll take a look at what the test looks like, well, not the test, but I'm on page 12 in the hard book that I'm looking at. Let's see what I can find here. Page 12. The questions at the end of this chapter. What is a hypnotist? What is hypnosis? What are the misconceptions, common misconceptions about hypnosis? What are the facts about hypnosis? What are the common subjective signs of hypnosis? You can find those in chapter 119 in the independent study with a checklist. What are the primary causes for failure to respond? What is catalepsy? And what is your goal, purpose, or reason for learning hypnosis at this time? Please start or continue with your journaling and take the time to write, what is my goal, purpose, or reason for learning hypnosis at this time? What do I want to achieve? Thank you for your interest in basic hypnosis. This concludes chapter 101 in basic hypnosis, and it is a wonderful evening in paradise. I hope you're enjoying your time as much as I'm enjoying mine. Good night. I'll see you again in the next recording.